Not too cute.
No, that's good.
Okay. All right, so this is the schedule. So the first part is at 9 a.m. That's when the girls will have, that's when we'll do our check-in. And we'll also have breakfast. It'll be like muffins, that kind of a thing. Something not too perishable, right? So if that's not gonna be enough for you, then you should eat something else. Just so you know, okay. And then the girls will start checking in around 9:30. So, and between then, we're just gonna be hanging out. So we'll have the opportunity to talk to some of the girls, like, oh, are you excited? That kind of thing, At 10 o'clock will be the welcome and the keynote. It'll just be a short talk, only about 30 minutes. Then the next thing it's going to be is speed mentoring. So the setup of speed mentoring is that there will be smaller tables, and it'll be probably like 2-on-2, hopefully, depending on the ratio of girls that day, then it might adjust slightly. But speed mentoring, just like the name speed implies, will be speedy. So it'll just be like a rotation. And it'll just be like a short discussion. And then 11:15 to 12 is when they do lab tour 1. Then we have lunch at the gastronome. That includes you guys, so your lunch is provided. You'll have lunch with your girls. From my experience, during lunch they'll ask like a lot of questions about campus life, that kind of thing, because usually they have questions already, but they don't want to ask them. They're sometimes at first a little bit hesitant, so you have to kind of help them. Then after lunch, we'll have 2 lab tours back to back. All the lab tours are the same length of 30 minutes. And then, wait a second.
No.
45, I can add.
But actually, the lab should be like 30 minutes and then 15 minutes for transition time, go to the bathroom, go to the next lab.
Yeah. While you're in the lab, theoretically, the people that are presenting will have everything ready. So you'll just basically be participating the same way that the girls are for that time. So whatever activity they do, you'll do it with them. But sometimes there may be some downtime. We'll ask the girls for questions, and then they don't say anything. Maybe you could ask a question, something to get a little more discussion going. It is a lot of STEM people. Communication is not always going to be the thing. You know what I'm talking about. So while you're in the lab, the only thing that you really need to do is make sure everybody's like still participating, they're learning something, everybody's rolling along, having a good time. And then at 3:15, the lab tours end. So at that point, you are free. The Expo booths will stay open until 5 o'clock. You can go check out the Expo booths if you would like. I did last year, it was fun. They have a lot of interesting stuff there. I found out about some like clubs on campus that I haven't found out about. There's different companies that are there. But if you need to leave at 3:15, that's when you will be free to go. And you'll be essentially signing over your girls into the Expo. So you'll be like releasing them. So let's do preparation before. Okay, so you do need to wear closed-toe shoes. This is just a Girl Scouts rule related to safety. Also, a lot of you are going to be going into labs that already have closed-toe shoes as a rule in general for labs. Some of you that are in science labs might have already experienced that because they do have glassware and stuff, so if it falls, even if it's not a dangerous chemical or anything like that, it could still hurt you if it fell and you stepped in glass. So you will need to wear closed-toe shoes. Also, you're going to be walking around a lot, so you should just wear comfortable shoes in general. Maybe some like sneakers. You don't have to do anything too fancy. Let's see. So check-in, when we check in, you'll get your class schedule and you'll be paired with whoever has the same schedule as you, essentially. It's not class schedule, lab schedule. And then Next thing is the Girl Scouts will check in. That part we don't have to worry about. The only thing is that once you meet them, you might want to have some icebreakers ready for them. Especially like, let's say you're leaving the keynote, right? And or leaving the speed mentoring. You're leaving the speed mentoring and you're going to take them to a lab. It can be a long time to be quiet. That whole quiet walk. So we have a little bit more, I think, later, but you might want to think about some questions that you might ask them. What are some easy questions that you could ask them?
What are you interested in?
What are you interested in?
How did you hear about this?
How'd you hear about this?
What
Why did you want to come? Why are you interested? What classes are you taking? Which classes do you like? I mean, eventually if you ask them enough questions, they'll start asking you questions back, so it'll work, I promise. You know. Just like talking to anyone new, right? Okay, and then during the keynote speaker, we'll be getting ready for the speed mentoring. So, all right. Then for speed mentoring, it'll be about 5 minutes rotation. This is an opportunity for the Girl Scouts to ask you questions, but once again, if they don't have any questions to ask, you might want to prepare something that you might say. And then,
So Melissa, we should let the Girl Scouts know that they should think about some questions to ask during the speed mentoring.
yes, you should.
Right?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make sure to communicate to the group. That's a good
Oh, no,
idea.
we'll take care of that.
Okay,
We'll send you some information.
I mean, if they don't have any questions, that's fine, but that's one of the reasons why it's not just one-on-one, it's two-on-two, because maybe if one girl is more hesitant to ask a question, but the other girl does, then you could start a discussion that involves everyone. And then, let's see. So, here's some questions to ask. What do you plan on studying in college? What kind of jobs are you interested in later? What are your plans? What do you find interesting? Any questions so far? All right. Okay, then lab tours, you'll get back into your groups, you'll start heading to the lab. On the way to the lab, one of the easiest things to talk about if they don't have any questions they want to ask you is just talk about what it's like at Cal State Fullerton. So imagine that you're giving like a tour almost. So let's say your first lab is in McCarthy Hall, you'd be like, oh, I take all my math classes here, something, say something about where you're going, right? Or if you pass by someplace, you could be like, oh, that's the TSU, that's where people like hang out and like they eat there, or whatever the most basic things. They've never been to a college campus, so even the most basic thing would be like super interesting to them. Trust me. They'll be like, wow, you don't have to eat when they tell you. So, anything about your experience at CSUF, your experience here at CSUF, or anything about it would all be fair game. Let's see, any questions? And make sure you keep track of how long it's going to take you to get to the next location, so that way you can leave with enough time. So in between labs, getting to the gastronome, et cetera, it's going to take longer to get to the gastronome from McCarthy than it is from the computer science class. So just plan accordingly. And then for lunch, so one problem that we had last year was that people didn't want to leave because it is you guys don't know what the gastronome is, right? Okay, I guess I shouldn't make any assumptions. Yeah, they get really excited about the fact that it's a buffet.
Yeah.
They like go nuts over that whole concept, and all they want to do is go to the ice cream machine. So that was my experience. So you might have to start telling them when it's going to be almost time to go. All right, guys, it's going to be time to go soon. And then if they're gonna go get a whole full plate, you're like, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need to leave. So, anyways, and then also be mindful of where you're going after lunch. So if you're going to the computer science building, maybe it's not as big of a deal. You're only gonna need a couple minutes. But if you're gonna need to get all the way across campus, And, remember that they're girls, they have little legs, don't think like, how long does it take me when I'm like power walking between buildings? Think of like a leisurely pace where you could still talk to someone when you're trying to think about scheduling. Alright, and then, let's see, so here is some icebreaker type questions. So pick pictures, so that's another one. So this one says 3 pictures, one to describe who you are, one to describe your goals, and one to describe where you want to be. You could do any one of those 3, or just like share a picture with us and tell us about it. Describe your perfect day. If you woke up tomorrow as an animal, what would you like to be and why?
Yeah, I googled some of these, so yeah, they're a little bit random.
I mean, you just choose whichever one that seems natural to you. So whichever one you prefer. I mean, you don't just like go through the list and just like start shooting in a natural way maybe. Items to a desert island. Try to find things that people have in common. Whatever they say, like, oh, that's cool. Like they say they have a dog and you don't have a dog. Like, that's cool. I like dogs too. And then some other topics. They're not just like questions, but like, what do you do for fun? Obviously, they're in Girl Scouts. You could ask them like what kinds of things they like to do through Girl Scouts, those kinds of things. What subjects do they like? All right. So here's some ideas for speed mentoring. So they might ask. This is like a suggestion for the girls to ask, but also if they don't ask you anything, you could just preemptively answer this question, right? Let me tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a math major in college, right? Whatever your major is, whatever you're studying. They might ask about what it's like to be a girl, right? Or a woman. So be prepared to share your experience with them. What should I do? They might ask about career options, right? Or they might ask you, like, okay, you're studying math, what do you want to do with that career? Or you're studying computer science, what do you want to do with that career? What do you want to like do as a job? And then they also, a lot of times will ask you, like, what should I be doing right now to like get where you are, basically. Because they think like we're so cool, we have it all together. We're in college. Meanwhile, maybe not so much, but to them, like this is like we are where they want to be, so they want to ask us lots of questions. Yes.
One thing to think about too is to make sure that when you're telling your own story, don't be afraid to talk about if you warbled a bit, if it wasn't just a direct shot to where you are today. If you faced a challenge and overcame it, talking about how you did that is a legitimate and important thing so that they understand that being a STEM major sometimes means digging in a little deeper or changing your mind about something or refiguring out what works for you, and helping them see that as part of the process, not necessarily some idealized thing that they've seen on television or in books or something like that, as if there's some linear path that's only singularly available to somebody.
Last year, maybe the two was you want to talk about it. We also had a little bit about the campus, like some ideas about the campus. This is the oldest building, don't take the elevator. This is
Of
The
course.
Statue of David.
Yeah.
The
You rub the statue for good luck.
The like 50-something statues that statues we
And
have
since
around
it's
campus.
October, it's really good for horror stories.
For the library.
We have at least 5.
Spooky. I don't like to be scared. I mean, to be honest, talking with the girls is like, it's easy. It does get easy. I mean, we're not that much older than them. Anyways. It is easy, I promise. It's just nice to have some things that you could mention, have some ideas of things that you might say. And then once you break the ice, they usually like to talk, so it's all good. That's one of the things that Girl Scouts helps them with, right? Is being like more communicative, so. Yes.
Yeah, so I know you guys were mentors last year. I just wanted to know what was it like actually talking to your like specific group? Was there any issues or like did everything go smoothly? How was that experience?
Everything went pretty smoothly. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I guess this year we should have 2 different majors, because I had a person who was in my major and girls had other questions for like a math major, and I wasn't able to answer that kind of question. So maybe just like having 2 separate mentors.
That's one of the reasons why we included the speed mentoring this
Yeah.
time, so they had an opportunity to talk to people of more majors.
Yeah.
Especially if they have maybe a major that's like more unique and there's only a couple of people that would fit that. That way they'll have an opportunity to talk to everyone. Not everyone. A larger number of people.
So for the speed mentoring, are we gonna have like pamphlets like on the table or like little things that tell us exactly which major is where, so the girls can go more toward that speed mentoring? No?
I think they just pick
one
someone
of
to talk to.
Yeah.
We do want to.
What we don't want to happen is we don't want like one table to be so much busier than all the other
Exactly, yeah.
tables,
That's true.
just because that's the major that they think they're interested in right now. The point is for them to get like a breadth of subjects to talk about, because in the lab they've already like indicated their interest, so the whole rest of the day is going to be based on the things that they are already most interested in. Any other questions? I think this is the end of the talk.
I think all the mentors will be getting lanyards with your name tags, and the girls will be also.
Yeah, so everyone will have name tags, so that we need, but try to remember their names, because if their hair is like covering it, it's gonna be awkward. Just make your best effort to try to remember people's names. It'll mean a lot to them that you remember who they are.
Also, another thing is when you have bathroom breaks, if they should go at least two girls together, and they should know this, that you don't wander out by yourself to the restroom. And if there are 2 of you mentors, then it would be good for one of you to go with them, or everybody just take a bathroom break on your way to the next lab or something like that.
I think that's everything.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. That's it for the, I'm sorry.
So is there like a breakdown of what you do need to bring besides clothes and shoes? Like maybe a backpack, right?
If you want.
Can they carry their stuff?
Oh.
Last year it rained, so bring an umbrella.
Oh, I remember.
Last year, the rain actually helped them to walk more quickly.
So we're hoping
Good
for.
weather. Be aware, the umbrella may be necessary to help encourage you to stay out of the sun possibly, or move more quickly. So,